Sup YouTube, what's going on? I'm back with another MLB The Show 20 video, and today I'm going to be going over 10 tips that will help you dramatically improve your hitting in MLB The Show 20. So before the video starts, make sure you drop a like on the video. We're aiming for 25 likes in this video. I'm really hoping we can get there. And also leave a comment on which hitting tip you found the most helpful. By commenting which tip is the most helpful, it helps me expand on those tips in future videos, maybe make another video like fully explaining that tip. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I've already made a hitting tip / zone PCI beginner tutorial and all that stuff. And I got a lot of comments asking, about lots of things that were not mentioned in the video. So this is kind of a follow-up video to respond to those comments and to show you guys what I was talking about in those responses. So obviously I am a World Series player. I'm gold level 7, so I have a lot of experience with the game. And these are just like 10 of my personal tips that I've used to get better at hitting and improve my overall MLB The Show gameplay. Alright, so the first tip is get yourself a pair of control freaks, man. It doesn't really matter what kind. Right now I'm using the Galaxies. I personally think the Galaxies are the best ones. I've seen people use many other control freaks, but my personal favorites are the Galaxies, so I recommend picking them up. I'll drop a link in the description if you want to check them out. They're around $15 on Amazon, so they're not that much. At first, control freaks will feel very awkward. They'll feel like weird. You won't like them, and trust me, I've been through it. Back in like Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I think is when I first got them. I was like, dude, I can't play with these, so I took them off, and I was like, I just need to try them, man. Everyone always says these things are awesome, so I put them back on. I stuck with it for about 2 or 3 days, and I finally got used to it and felt amazing. Haven't taken them off since. I keep getting new pairs because after like 2 years they kind of get worn down, but they tremendously help your precision with the PCI. If you're playing a shooter game, your aim, they're just all around a necessity that you need to improve your gameplay. So number 2, I got a lot of comments on this on the hitting tips video, and it's a monitor. You should pick yourself up a monitor, and one I suggest is actually the HP 21.5 inch monitor. I'm not sure what the actual model name is. I'll drop that in the description as well. So basically what a monitor does is it improves the reaction time from when you're seeing the pitch to when you press the swing button, and when the controller sends a signal back to your PlayStation, and you can see it on your screen when your guy actually swings. So with a monitor, you have the fastest reaction time. I think there's literally no input delay, and I've seen a lot of people commenting, I play on a 50-inch TV, 60-inch, anything above 30 inches for a TV, you're gonna have an extreme amount of input delay. Trust me, I used to play on a 60-inch, and once I switched to a monitor, the game became 10 times easier. I had so much more reaction time on fastballs, anything off speed, it just became so much easier. So yeah, I definitely do recommend investing into a monitor. The one I personally use, I already told you, it's around $100, and there is cheaper ones if you want to go for maybe a cheaper price range. I don't know if I'd go any less than 100, but definitely recommend a monitor. So my next tip is for the people who cannot invest in a monitor and they're stuck playing with a 60, 50, 40, whatever inch TV, and they want to get an extra edge on their gameplay. So if you go into your TV settings, it should be options, anything on your remote, or maybe even on the TV buttons itself. If you scroll down to display or system settings or something like that, there should be an option to switch it to game mode. And I've seen that this helps, or when I used to play on a TV, this helped a lot. It sped up the input lag by maybe double of what it was before. So it's something great to help you out when you don't have enough money to invest in a monitor. Alright, so now we're going to finally get into the actual tips on the game. So if you go over here in settings, this is just going to be a big one. It's your camera angle. So the big thing about the camera angle is you don't want to be using something that's super far away. You can use something that's a little bit zoomed out. Me personally, I like strike zone. I think it's the most competitive one. You can easily see pitches that are off the plate, low, high, and I've had great success with strike zone. I've seen many people use zoom. This is a little bit zoomed out. You can see maybe half the batter, I think, or maybe they're full batter, but it's actually a really good strike zone to notice balls and strikes. Usually I switch to this when I'm in a slump with strike zone, and then when I start hitting good again, I'll go back. And yeah, so I don't recommend any fisheyes, definitely not catcher. Show 16's alright, custom, you can't really use those online, definitely not broadcast, definitely not outfield. Don't use any of these pitcher ones. If you're using that, I feel sorry for you. But yeah, I definitely recommend strike zone 1 or 2 or zoom. If you're not using one of those already, it will immediately step up your hitting game. Alright, so the next thing is right down here in the PCI settings. And I know a lot of your favorite YouTubers, they love to just use these diamonds or circles in the middle, but trust me, don't do that. Unless you're literally like insane at the game, like your friend Kyle or Cougs, just please don't use this because you'll struggle with it. What I just use is the inner as basic with yellow and 80%. This is pretty much your little outline PCI from past MLBs. I wouldn't recommend putting anything in the middle of the basic just because in my past experience it like blocked me from seeing the ball and like lining up the ball in the middle of my PCI. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I just felt like those little dots and diamonds in the middle of my outline just blocked me from lining up the ball perfectly. So I would recommend turning those off and just keeping basic on. You can pick whatever color. I just like yellow because it's always been yellow. And 80 or 70 transparency, no higher, no lower, because then you can't really see it. Yeah, so that's my PCI settings. I definitely recommend this. You guys should try it out and let me know how you like it in the comments down below. Alright, so this next one actually involves like warming up yourself, getting ready to play online, getting ready for pitches. So what you're going to want to do is go to your sliders on the main menu options screen, and you could go to adjust sliders, and I want you to scroll down all the way till you see fastball pitch speed right here, and you're going to want to just turn this all the way up. So what this does is when you're hitting and batting, I'll show you in a second, but batting practice, which is what I do to warm up, the pitches will be coming insanely fast, and then you'll switch back to the normal pitch speeds, and it'll feel like they're coming in so slow, just feel like you're hitting meatballs. So once you have this all the way up, you can press X, you can apply, and then you want to save your settings, name it like batting practice or something, because every time you get on the game, you can just load up your sliders and you're good to go. So once you have the sliders loaded up, you can go to custom practice. I like to hit off Chapman, so you can put it like this, and you can use any hitter in the game. Let's just use JD for now. Alright, so once you're in practice, you want to pause and make sure you're set to batting and repeat the play yes. And I like to hit off Chapman because he throws absolute gas. And you can use whatever batter, like your favorite batter, whatever you like to use. And then you're going to want to come over here to options, go to gameplay, and turn it on legend difficulty. This will make the pitch speeds as fast as they possibly can go, especially with that increased fastball pitch speed. The pitches will be coming in absolutely hot. So when you're in here, this is what I like to do to warm up. For playing online, I like to just hit off legend difficulty, fastest fastball pitch speed, Chapman, and these pitches are coming in hot. But let me tell you, after you do this for about 10 minutes and you go back to normal difficulty, as that was a slider, which was not what I expected, but after you do this for 10 minutes, go back to normal difficulty, it'll feel like the pitches anyone's throwing is coming in like absolute meat, and it'll be so easy to track with your eyes. Alright, so now that we're actually in the practice, I'm going to show you what I do to warm up my in-between pitches, because it's not all about getting warm up to hit before the game. It's all about like in between pitches, in between at bats, everything. You got to be ready for every pitch. So what I see not a lot of people doing when I see clips on Reddit is warming up their finger. So you want to I like to spin it this way. You can go the other way if you want. You can go up here, you can go down side to side, whatever you need to do to warm up your eye to get ready to hit these pitches, because what it's really doing is getting your muscles ready to make those quick reactions. It's pretty much just like practicing in real life. Like you're getting your reactions ready, getting your nerves ready to quickly react to pitches. And another tip I have for you guys is actual thumb placement on the thumbstick, which helps. In my last video, I saw a lot of comments saying that this was very helpful to most. And so what you want to do is you're going to want to put your thumb at a 90-degree angle on the joystick. So instead of just holding it like flat straight out, I'll show a picture on screen. You just want to put your thumb like 90 degrees into the joystick. This will help you get more control over the joystick and where you flick it around for the PCI. And I feel like it helps you drop the PCI less. Like I used to have a problem where it'd be a high fastball, I'd drop it down. I'm like, nah, I gotta fix that. So I tried doing this. I saw it in someone's video like back in MLB The Show 14 or something like that. And ever since then, it's been very helpful for dropping the PCI and having more control on it. So the next tip is a very important one, and this is just learning different pitch types. So if you didn't know this already, before pitches, I'll show you right here. If you hold R2, you can see the pitcher's pitch selection, and he has a 4-seamer, slider, sinker, 2-seam for Chapman. And what I'm getting at here is you just got to know what these pitches do. So obviously a 4-seam is just a straight fastball, may have a little bit of tail on it. Slider will always go towards it's like kind of a curveball, and it will always like that thing was just absolutely hung. It's kind of a flatter curveball that has a more sharper bite near the end of it. and a sinker just goes straight down. Two seams, kind of like a sinker, it goes to a little bit to the left. So like just understanding what these pitches do, so when you see them, as Chapman only has one off speed, so when I see that slow pitch, I know where it's going. Say if he had a changeup and I saw the slow pitch, I might drop it down instead of over to the left, and I might miss it, because last year he did have changeup, so he was a little harder to hit last year. But just knowing the pitches and knowing that, say if a guy only has one off speed or maybe he has two fastballs, you got to know the difference between them, because sometimes you'll think it's a four seam and you'll be way out in front of it, or sometimes you'll think it's a four seam, be way out in front of it, and it'll be a two seam, so you'll hit it so far foul, maybe even whiff very early because the two seam is usually slower, or maybe you'll miss the PCI because it will tail a little bit. So the last tip kind of brings us into our final tip for the video, and that is getting comfortable and focused before every pitch and at bat. So if you play baseball in real life, you know that in between pitches you usually step out of the box, take a little minute, take a couple seconds, regather yourself, and step back in, get ready and hit the next pitch. And that's exactly what you want to do in this game, because if you get your mind mentally ready to hit this pitch, hit the next pitch, it'll be 10 times easier to hit it. So what I usually do is, after I warm up my finger, I take a deep breath, make sure my hands are all ready to hit this next pitch. Mentally zone in with your eyeballs. Don't be looking at anything beside you. When the pitcher's in his windup, or especially when he's set, you don't want to look at anything beside your screen because you might get distracted. Oh my goodness. So it's pretty much, and you want to be in a comfortable situation when you're hitting. You don't want to be laying down on your bed, hitting far away from your TV, or you don't want to be sitting too close to the screen that you're just like the pixels are going into your eyeballs. But what I have my chair. Obviously, if you don't have a chair, I'd recommend buying one as well. So I sit like maybe a couple feet away from the monitor, but I definitely don't recommend laying down or being too far away, because then you can't really focus that well on the pitch at hand. And as always, guys, the being patient at the plate, like taking these pitches, is literally the key to hitting. If you're swinging at all junk that's balls and you just never going to be able to make good contact on them, you're never going to hit well in this game. So it all ties in together. If you're warmed up to hit pitches like that, and you're ready to hit the pitches right over the plate, and you know where pitches are going, you learn different types of pitches. Say if a curveball starts right here, my PCI is, it's always going to be a ball. It's going to be low. So if you can lay off those, that's working more counts, working the pitcher. So say you're facing Kluber, the more pitches you take, the more energy he gets drained. So the sooner he'll come out of the game, the sooner you'll be able to hit better off an easier pitcher. And it all ties in together. All these tips, man, that's what all about hitting in baseball is. It's just the mental game. You got the taking pitches, you got the knowing what pitches are coming, you got trying to guess what pitch is coming, you got knowing what pitch to hit, like what you like to hit, what the batter likes to hit. It's just all mental, and you just gotta take all these tips into consideration when you're up at the plate. So yeah, guys, that's basically it for me. If you guys have any more questions and concerns about these follow-up tips, just leave them in the comments down below. I'll try to answer every single one. I usually do answer all the comments. So if you have any questions or concerns, just leave them in the comments below. And that is an absolute nuke by JD off the hanging slider. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.